What have you learnt from your audience feedback? The first audience feedback that we received was from the Year 12s, and they wrote down on bits of paper. They answered questions about what they thought the trailer was like, what didn't make sense, what genre they thought it was. And so the main thing that we realised when they gave us the feedback is that yes, it did convey the fact that it was a period drama and it had like a big theme of romance. Most people sort of didn't really understand the titling, and they didn't really understand the plot of the film, and one person got really confused and didn't really understand what was going on at all. And I think this was like a big moment for us, because we realised, it was like the first time that we realised that not everyone knew what our film was about. So we all understood what the plot was and we knew everything about it, but we forgot to realise that no one else would know. So when we watched it, we were like, oh yeah, that fits there, that fits there, that fits there. But then when other people watched it, they were like, this is all a bit confusing, what's really going on? But a lot of people got the plot of the film, and that it was like a love story, and it was set in the 1940s during the Second World War. One of the most important questions that we asked was, does it look like a trailer? So most people said yes, and one person said, yes, it gives glimpses into the story and makes you want to find out more, which was like a big relief for us, because we really wanted someone to be able to understand like where we were coming from with our film, and we wanted to know that it made sense. However, we still had a long way to go at this point. Like, our rough draft was very rough, and what we had like the trailer rush, but it didn't really make any sense, and so it was all a bit of a palaver really. But some of the main things that we learned from that was that we have to think about our target audience more than we did at the time, and we had to like think about how other people would see it, and we had to think very carefully about which order we put our things in, and also how we did our titling. So the main things that we did after we received this audience feedback was change the titling completely. We made it a lot clearer. We added more institutional information, just, standard trailer stuff like the ratings tile at the beginning, and also the like Flowerbed Productions and the UK Film Association. Another main thing that we did was that we put a voiceover in the middle of the trailer, which was the letter that Anna wrote to Robbie, and this seemed to make like a lot more sense in people's mind. It made it a lot clearer what was happening in the film. And so when we did more audience research, we found that people understood the plot more, and they thought, we got a lot of comments that said that the titles made a lot of sense, and that it helped explain the plot of the film, which is like one of the main things that we wanted to do. So that is a way that we have improved our media product through audience feedback. One of the main things that I realised when we got audience feedback is that even though like most audience feedback is really helpful, and it's only there to try and make you make a better media product, sometimes people will give you feedback that you don't necessarily agree with. So for example, after I showed my final production to someone, they said that they didn't really like the music in it, and I think this is sort of quite objective. It's what they think of the music, but the thing is, no one else said that. So the thing is that maybe it's just their personal opinion, and I've sort of realised that even though audience feedback is really helpful, you don't have to take everything they say like completely to heart, because if you don't agree with it and you don't want to put it in your trailer, or if you want to leave the music in your trailer, then you should. So this is the film poster and what I learned through audience feedback. So one of the overall things that I got back from the audience feedback is that people really liked the poster. They said it was really good. They thought it looked like a real poster. Some people said that it was lacking a little bit of colour. And so one of the main things that they really loved about the poster was the emotive letter, and they took the time to read it, and they said that it really like struck you. It was really emotive, really sad, and it's like really intriguing, so it made you want to go watch the film. So one thing that I've learned is that if you put something intriguing on your film poster, people are more likely to go see it, because they want to know what's going on. Like, they want to know what's going on in the film poster, what's going on in the film, like everything. One person didn't like the letter, but something that I've learned from this is that because loads of people did like it and then one person didn't, it's maybe just their personal preference, and it's maybe not representative of the whole of the audience. Here I have changed the background because people said it looked plain. I have added a background of a setting from the trailer, the country lane. I have also added another layer. This middle layer is of Anna and Robbie earlier on in their relationship. The green leaves in the middle layer represent how happy Anna and Robbie were. However, the brown leaves of the background show how their relationship has changed and now it's more complicated. I took out the letter because it obstructed their faces, but I have added the middle layer to entice the audience with their love story. So this is what I learned from making the magazine cover, and the first thing is that we're all going to disagree. Like, all of us as a group disagreed over like what the masthead should look like, what the cover line should look like, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is what the audience thinks. And so some of the main things that I learned through audience feedback was that people really liked the magazine front cover because it was really dynamic and unusual, and because you had to look twice at it to be able to understand like what was going on, because people were a bit confused about the double pictures, and then when they like read the cover lines and read everything, they were like, oh, I understand it, like one side's like real life, one side's not real life. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I was like so happy that people understood it and that it wasn't like a complete failure. Another thing that they thought was they really liked the colour scheme. They were all really attracted by the colour scheme, and so obviously the choice of navy, pink and white was a really good choice. I've learnt that colour scheme really does matter in attracting your target audience. I reckon if we put like green, brown and yellow, it would have been less effective. Another thing that people said was that they thought it was really realistic. I think that was really good because like, some of the things that we learned while we were doing the magazine front cover is that you have to have like the taglines that will grab your audience and they'll like be effective to what's going on in like the world now. So for example, we talked about 50 Shades of Grey, and that's something that everyone knows about, so they're going to connect to the cover line. I have added a brick background here because it looked plain before. The black and white bricks behind Anna the character emphasise the 1940s era when the film is set, and the modern bluey colour behind Laura the actress is meant to emphasise the modern neon 21st century feel.